Good morning. Today is Saturday, and you are not going to believe what I did this morning. I got up, I did the usual routine. I let the dogs out. I usually make the coffee, which that's what I did. And then I had on my mind uploading my YouTube video so that it would be there this morning, and to do it early and get that done, because the earlier I do it, the faster it actually uploads. So I went ahead and I did that. That's when my husband came home, so he let the dogs in, and I'm just doing my thing on my computer, not even thinking. By now the coffee is done. My husband brings me a cup. I'm in the living room, and the dogs are acting like they're crazy animals. I mean, really. I mean, hopping around, looking at us, kind of giving a little bark, a little woof, a little whine, running like in circles, just little circles, you know. And then it dawned on me, I didn't feed them breakfast. They are trying to tell me, we're hungry, why didn't you feed us? So yeah, poor dogs. They had to wait a whole 30 minutes longer to have breakfast. I said it before, they're just like little tiny toddlers. I am going to have to finish up my laundry because I'm still working on the laundry. But the other thing I'm going to do today is, I don't know if you remember, I think I might have told you quite a few weeks ago, that my husband had bought one of these puppies. Yeah, never did cook it. Never have I ever cooked one of these things. I'm gonna do it today. And you know what? I don't even know where to begin. So I will be going through a couple cookbooks. I will be Googling it, seeing what I think is gonna be the easiest and the tastiest. And I'll let you know how that turns out. Anyways, I'll talk to you throughout my weekend, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend too. Well, you remember I said I've never cooked a butternut squash before. You would think that by my age I would have, but honestly, I don't even ever remember seeing this in my childhood home as I was growing up. I always knew about butternut squash, but when I would see it, it was already just cut into pieces and was being served on the table. Never did it from this point. So this is a first for me. So I am going to attempt to cut it, which I did go online, and they said you start in the middle and work back, and then you start in the middle and work that way. And then they said to use like a ice cream scoop to try to get all the seeds and strings out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But the recipe that I decided to use is one that takes maple syrup and nutmeg and butter. So I thought that sounded good, because most of them that I had read, it was all taking brown sugar and butter. I thought, well, this is a little different, right? I have the wonderful, fresh, real maple syrup, so I'm going to go ahead and try that. But I'm going to give this a go, and we'll see how well that goes, right? Actually, that wasn't so bad, but I did have to use a long knife. So, yeah, my other one, even though because I knew that one was sharper, I thought it would be easier. It wasn't. I needed the long knife, and it wasn't that hard. But scooped out one part. Now I'm just going to scoop out this part. In the video that I watched on this, the lady said, yeah, make sure you get all the strings out, because you want to floss after you eat, not during your meal. I thought that was kind of clever. That wasn't so bad at all, was it? I went ahead and I put foil on my pan because I didn't want to, clean up the mess. This particular one says to have your oven at 400, and yeah, I didn't even preheat my oven. So now it says put it on a large baking sheet with a cut side up, and to take your butter and put it smearing it all over the outside of the... So, I guess that means you need to have softer butter. If you're going to smear it like spreading it like on bread almost, isn't it? Let me move this down and you'll be able to see that a little bit better. But honestly, I do not even know what site I got this from. It says 6 tablespoons. Wow, that's a lot of butter. Can't imagine needing all that butter, but I'm not going to be able to spread anymore. So I'm just going to put a couple little pieces on where I don't have any, and I'll have to watch it while it's in there because it sounds like a lot of butter to me. And it says a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. Just drizzle it over it. I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to dump pretty much what it says to do. Calls for fresh ground nutmeg. Yeah. This is not fresh ground, this is just what you buy at the store. And then it says some pepper. It's not pepper, it's pepper. And it also just says then that we roast this till it's tender when poked with a fork. And you can either serve it this way by cutting it in half and giving everybody a portion of it, or just scooping it out and putting it into a serving bowl. Well, this is what the finished butternut squash looks like. I'm going to scoop it out and just put it in this bowl here, and hopefully it'll taste as good as it looks and smells. Good morning on this cold and frosty Sunday morning. We are again on our way to Tionesta for Rick to give them a message. And we look forward to this trip. Not only is it a beautiful area, but it's beautiful people there too. So we find this to be a treat. This will be our 3rd time going there. It's nice. Anyways, that's what we're planning on doing today, and I certainly hope that wherever you are, that you take time to worship the Lord, and if possible, to meet with fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, because that is what His Word has told us to do, to not to forsake the assembling of ourselves. And so, with that, I will talk to you later on today, and I hope you have a great day. Well, we are on our way back home, and it is now 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And yeah, we really just need to get home. I'm sure our pups are going a little crazy. It's been a long time. I'll talk in a bit. Good evening. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope that you had a very nice day in the Lord today. And we had a very nice trip back from Tionesta. It was sunny the whole way there, and it was sunny the whole way back. There's no snow really. It's just snow that's left over that hasn't melted off. Although it was very frosty this morning, there was no real snow. That's good. Tonight, I wanted to read Mark 6, verse 31. Jesus said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." That's just really the end of the verse, because that's the point that I wanted to make tonight. You know, the Latin poet Horace, who lived 2 centuries before Christ was born, wrote 2 little words that remain popular even today. And I am going to try to pronounce this Latin word correctly. Carpe diem, which means seize the day, enjoy the present. Most of us desire to use the time that God has given us well. So seizing the day can seem like good advice. It encourages us to just burst onto the dawn of each new day and fully be motivated and ready to go. But the original translation of Horace's advice really means pluck the fruit when ripe. In other words, do the right thing at the right time. Sometimes the right thing to do is nothing at all. Believe it or not, that advice actually comes straight from the Bible. After completing creation, God took a day off. He sat back and he celebrated everything he'd accomplished. And he encourages you and me to follow his example. Life isn't all about doing. It's also about being. Simply enjoying God's good gifts and the results of enjoying the work that you've accomplished during your week. Taking time out, as the Lord has instructed us, isn't wasted time. It's time that is ripe for rest and renewal. Ask God to teach you how to be, because, believe it or not, our be is actually more important than our do. Because being in Christ, spending time being in his presence, and being with fellow believers in worship is what is needed in order to do. George Mueller said this: God not only orders our steps, he orders our stops. And so with that, I want to remind you, life happens, so let's enjoy it. But if you truly want to enjoy it, remember, you have to be before you do. So take the time to be in God's presence. Take the time to be with fellow believers and worship and praise his name. Good night and God bless.